right, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be doing the letter J in illuminated letters. It's not really illumination, but it's the letter J just made up for June. And there is a traceable for those in all levels of my membership on YouTube and on Patreon, so you can check that out if you want to play along. And last Thursday I did a little bit of gel printing of the eco prints with my leaves and whatnot. I'll show you a few of those. We did a few different types of printing. We did just the squishing of the plants in paper through my dot. There's what they turned out. So they still have their color. Now I haven't taken the time to go through and scrape whatever remains. It does come off fairly easily. This is butcher paper without the wax on it, and it soaks up any liquid fairly easily. So it's great for jelly printing and pretty much any kind of art that you want to do. So it doesn't take long to garbage. Clean it up. So they did turn out. I did some of that after as well. I did some Nepeta. Oh, cool. Had the Nepeta. Was it in bloom? Have you got cats? Your cats would have loved it. I like it. I think it's cool. And you don't have to wait and do the boiling and never know how, the plants that you picked, if they're even going to print anything. This way you get instant results. So you know whether one plant will work better than others. That's what I like about it. And it doesn't degrade the paper. Because I find that you are going to degrade your paper because you're boiling it. So you're taking out all those ingredients that keep the paper together. So you're pretty much losing your any kind of archival factor to it. So that was, see, you even got pink and flower. There's another one. I haven't cleaned these, but look how bright the purples turned out. I think these were rock crests that I put in this one. There's some on watercolor paper with the English daisies and some ink. So that was a mix of ink and the color from the plant itself. And then I did the inks. So you print with just pad ink is what I used, and a bit of sprays or water. I think they turned out cool. I like this one too. This is just plant juices. Some more ferns. Those were planted. This is from the gel print. We did some of those too. I'm not sure where I put those. But I will be scanning some of these, and I'll put them in the members group for you to play with. And then there was this one here. Remember I had put this in between to see what it would do. So that's the print of the leaf. There's no ink or anything on that. That's just the leaf itself. And then I left it on the paper just to see if I can dry this as it is, because I think it might be kind of cool. So I think I'll put that back on. Yeah, like this. And we'll see if it dries up. And then we could actually just take some gel medium and put over top once it's dry. That could be pretty. So it is drying, but it's not quite dry enough. The paper even feels a bit damp. So we'll see what next week brings on that one. And I did get some stamps the other day. I saw these on a website. I can't think of it. Well, it was a interior decorator website. My niece is an interior decorator, and they use these. And so I thought I'd get some. They're big. These would be great for large applications. And this one also a bunch of different wild, and they're really thick, so they can be used with paint or ink. And the backing that it's on is fairly thick, and they say you could even cut around, like cut the backing with the stamp if you wanted to. And that way you don't have to remove the stamp off the backing, which I think I might do. And then just keep it on the cardboard. That would, they're good stamps, but it'd be easy to keep them in shape when you're, because I don't think I have that long of a block that I could use anyways. Yeah, I thought they were beautiful stamps. They're used for decorating furniture, wood pieces. They got many different kinds too. There's some script and more flourishes, that type of thing, if you like that type of thing. I was more interested in the botanical. Well, you know what I'm, gardener and everything. And I love fern. Fern, I just love. Unfortunately, I can't grow fern here that well because my soil's got too much clay in it. And it dries out in July. So I've got a couple, but they're not like my other garden where I had like a whole area full of these huge ferns. They were beautiful. But these will be nice for adding in anything. If you're using them for art journaling or your diary, just to add a little something to your diary journaling, or even gift wrap would be pretty. Hi, Kathleen. Yeah, they're big. I like the fact that they're big. And who knows, maybe I'll do some wood stuff. Haven't done that in a while. That would be kind of fun to do. I used to do a lot of decorating, like the wood painting back in the day, but I haven't done that in a long time. It's fun. But you can go, they have a website. It's Iron Orchid Designs, and they'll list where you can get their stuff. Now, they do have also decoupage papers if you don't want to use stamps. I think they have rice paper also, and all kinds of stuff. So they're a great place to get something a little different that you don't see everywhere else. So today we're going to be doing the letter J, and I've already drawn it out, and I printed it out, or not printed it out, but I scanned this and then made a printable for you, and it's in the community page for the members, and also on the Patreon for the members, and it's for all levels. So if you want to download that, you can get that and paint along or do whatever you want with it. And that's what I associate June with, is strawberry season. We might put a bee on there too. Who knows? So we're going to watercolor this. Now I didn't draw this out for you now because it would take too long for me to draw this. Just because of all the amount that's had to be drawn. But this is a fairly simple pattern to do. Like, anyone can do leaves and kind of heart shapes for the berries. So if you don't like something in this, change it up. Put more berries on it, or more leaves, or more vine, whatever you want. Yeah, it was very popular back in the day. Yeah. So I'll get my paints out. So I have my paint here. And I'll probably bring you in a little bit, just so that you're not so far away. So you can see what I'm doing. You can see my palette. There we go. And we'll use some, I have two sizes here. This is a number 8, and this is a silver black velvet, and this is a number 4. You could go even smaller than that if you want. These have really nice points, so a lot of times you don't need anything more than these two in a lot of cases, especially if you're just using like a sketchbook size. I'll probably be doing wet into wet and wet into dry, depending on, I might use some gouache too. So I'm just going to spray my paints here. This is a mix of different brands. I don't typically get a whole set of one particular brand. I get what colors I like, basically. So a lot of times you can get the dot sheets. Let's see if I got one here. Yeah. So Daniel Smith has them, and who else? There's a couple manufacturers that have them. I think Sennelier has them now. And so this is what it looks like. So it's a dab of paint on a piece of watercolor with the name and the pigment code. So you can wet them and see what the true colors are, and that's a better way of buying your paints. So then you can figure out, maybe maybe these two are too similar. You wouldn't need that, or maybe you don't even use certain colors because you're, I don't know, painting something that doesn't have those colors. there's no use for them. Or maybe you only want more of a primary colors and then mixing your own colors. So you wouldn't need all of these. So these are great to have. I like Daniel Smith. I think Holbein might have some too. Holbein's a really good make too. And Core. Core is very good because it keeps the color, it doesn't fade. Whereas most watercolors, they will, when you put them down, they're nice and vibrant, and then they fade slightly. So they're not as dark as when you put them on. Whereas Core colors, they will keep their color. So they don't fade. They are a little more expensive, but you don't have, like I said, you don't have to get the whole set. Just get what you use most of. Hey, Janet. Hey, Joan. Good to see you. So this is what I'm going to do for the June strawberry month. For me, anyways. You guys probably already had strawberries. We're late here. It's been so darn cold, and it's cold this week too. We got a pile of rain. So hopefully we get some sun and some warmth, because strawberries won't taste very good if it has a lot of rain and not enough warmth and sun. They just get fat and have no taste. Just a blob of water, basically. Had strawberries yesterday. Awesome, Joan. Yeah. And it was funny. My brother, he rents his side acreage to a strawberry producer, like a plant producer that ships their plants out to you guys in the States, I guess. Some areas like California that they can't grow them every year. Like they don't come back. I guess they have to have some kind of a cold rest. But he was saying that it depends on the soil, on how tasty your strawberries are, whether they're sweet or not. Certain soils give it a different taste, which I didn't know. So that was interesting. So strawberries. Let's get a piece of paper out so we can test some colors here. Now strawberries, they can have a little yellow in them, a little orange, a little kind of goldy color too, white. Depends on how advanced they are in developing. So let's see what we got here. This is Alizarin Crimson. There's Cad Red, Winsor Newton Scarlet Lake, and Quinn Red, Pyrrole Orange, and I think I have the Daniel Smith in here too. I think it was this one here. That one. There's this one. That's Berry Red. That's a pretty color. I think that one is the Daniel Smith one. This one here. Pretty sure. And then there's this one, which is Quinn Red. That's pretty too. It's almost the same as that. That one is a Winsor Newton Quinn Red. So I would say the strawberries could be a little more into this color and then maybe adding a little of this to it. So that was this one, I believe, and then this one. Yeah. So if we add those two together, that makes a nice color. So that was Cad Red, Core Cad Red, and this one, which is, let's see if I can get it out. See what color it is. Winsor Newton Scarlet Lake. That's what it is. So they make a nice color. Most strawberries you buy taste like crap because they have to pick them so early. Most fruit, actually, yeah. Better if you grow your own, yeah, or go pick some in a strawberry if you're a field. That's what we normally do. There's lots of farms around here that let you pick. I had some gorgeous ones at my brother's Jubilee family party. Oh, awesome. Right. So strawberries, sometimes they have a little green on the bottom too. So, and it's usually that bright green. So I have this leaf green by Da Vinci. I'll just put a little dab there. So maybe some of the smaller ones. Normally you see this, they're small and they're just starting to ripen. And there's a little bit of green on the bottom. So let's put a little dab of green here and there on some of these tinier ones. And then a very pale, let's see, oh, let's use some of this that's on the paper. I'm just dabbing. And then I'm just taking a clean brush. So it would be fairly light. Just put a little bit here and there. Sometimes they're kind of blotchy looking. All right, and then this one will be a nice ripe one. Juicy. Let's just put this color in. And then I'm going to dab a little bit of either yellow or a bit of orange while it's wet. Just a smidge. Just lighten it like that. Do you want me to bring you guys in? The only problem with that is, well, I guess I could put it this way so you can see the palette at least. Let's see. There. Is that good? So let's put a little bit more of the red in. So that would be this one, I believe. And I'm just dabbing around the edge a little bit. And just cleaning it up. This isn't watercolor paper, so it's not going to move the same way, but it's good enough for what I'm doing. Let's make a load of that color that we wanted. So let's clean an area. That nice juicy red. That was the Scarlet Lake. No, Cad Red with Scarlet Lake. Just makes a really nice red. And I'm just dabbing basically around the edge. And then I'll use some gouache to do the little seeds. Let's try doing it in wet into wet. So just wet the area you want to put it down on. And it'll just go on those wet areas. Won't move anywhere else. And then take some of that and put it in, let it do its thing. Okay, so if we did wet into dry, we have more control. Nice and dark. Put a little bit of that Indian yellow in, just a bit. Yellow always seems to push the red away. It's interesting. Another one over here. Nice shiny ones too, so we'll put some highlights on also. Probably with our gouache, or we could do color pencil, whatever you guys want to see me do. Doesn't much matter to me. I like doing both. Put a little bit more on there, just a little darker. That. All right, so, oh, I missed one. Do this guy. So what do you guys like about strawberries? What do you can? Do you make jam? Do you cook with it? What do you do? I used to make jelly and jams, And then I love rhubarb, so I used to make a lot of strawberry rhubarb pies. So that's always good. Or crumble. It's yummy. All right, so then let's dry that and then we'll do some leaves. Yeah, you make the jam. Yeah, I don't make it. I haven't made it in years either, Joan. Kids are all gone and I don't really eat bread anymore, so I don't have I don't eat jam on anything else but toast. I like just fresh strawberries with cream and a little bit of sugar. Or another really good is fresh strawberries, and then you dip them in a combination of brown sugar and sour cream. You mix brown sugar and sour cream together. Oh, is that ever good? All right. Now you can see how they kind of dulled here. Strawberries and ice cream. Oh yeah, that's good too. Yep. Yummy. I'm going to put some of this brighter red in here. Oh, that's got some, obviously got some whitewash in there. Just to brighten this up a little bit. It's more on the orangey side, but when you put it over top your already painted layer, it just brightens it up a bit. So if you find your reds have gone kind of dull looking, that's all you have to do. Just add that little bit of kind of an orangey color. That was Scarlet Lake, I believe. Here. All right, so now a green. Now they're kind of, the leaves are, I wouldn't say they're too olivey, olive shade. They're more on the true green color, I would say, medium. So I have some, let's see, what's this one? Permanent sap green, and it's a little more, it's not as dulled down as the other. I'm just going to add it to this leaf green here. And you can, with leaves, I like to do the wet into wet. So let's do this one up here. So just get some water, put it on the whole leaf. And then you just kind of dab your colors. And I like to add different colors, like maybe the green in the center here on the stem area. And then that brighter green. So I'm going to mix. Some green in here. Some of that bright green again, leaf green. And then you can dab that on bits and pieces. If it goes mottled, I like that. So that's the way I normally do leaves. I don't have to worry about bleeding into each other because they're all going to be basically the same color. This one would have darker underneath, lighter on the top maybe. So a little bit of that bright green up here. And let it go into each other. It kind of paints itself. I like the look of it. And these are fairly small leaves, so I'm not going to take the time to do every little vein and that type of thing. This one shaded a little bit down here. And then in here. And then I'll just take my other green and dab around the other areas. You could take some yellow out too if you wanted to. Let it combine with each other. That would look nice too. Okay, let's get some more of this. A bit more green. Or you could try wet into dry. It's just a little more work because you have to paint the areas you want the color. And it all depends on what kind of, do you like to have more control when you paint? Then you might want to do it this way. Okay, this would be a little darker. And some lighter areas. Make it even lighter by just putting water on your brush and bringing that paint down. This gives you different effects. Just try and wherever their leaves are crossing each other, try and have a little bit of a contrast in the value of the color so that you can recognize there's two leaves, one on top of the other. Shaded areas would be darker, like around the strawberry here. Could probably be a little bit of a shadow cast. Just add a little bit of a bright one along the edge. And then I'm just going to take water. Not too much on your brush. I always wipe my brush before I go to the paper. You'll eventually learn how much water you want on your brush. It just comes with experience. So keep painting. That's how you learn. More dark under here. That one's kind of folded, so it's a little darker. Lighter on the top part. Just water. You can always go back if you find once it's dry that it's not quite dark enough. Just go back and give it another coat. So let's put it on the edges here. And the darker one on the center. Just dabbing. Going around that little point where the edge of the leaf is. And maybe a little bit more on here. I was about 10 feet. Not sure what you mean, Dot. 10 feet what? You might be on a leg. Not sure what you're referring to. That one's going to be a little darker. Kind of underneath. Oh, 10 years. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Now we can go back. Put in a little bit darker areas if you want. I have a little bit of shadowing. You can add that too now. And I'm just adding more of the same color. All right, so let's dry that. All right, so now the stems. Stems. I'm not sure if they're light green or dark green. See if I can find something on the internets. Edges. All right. Well, it looks about the same color as the, if you can see that, same color as the leaf, maybe a little bit lighter. Okay. So I can take my smaller brush. And what I'm going to do is just take that darker color and go around the base of all of them. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Actually, the leaves on top, the little brackets that sit on top of the fruit can be that color too. So we'll just put some of that in. I might just use colored pencil. Make a whole lot easier. So I'll just go over the whole thing with this color, and then I'll get a colored pencil and do the highlight of the stem just to make life easier. I missed a spot. Leaf part here. And if you're new here, I'm more or less a mixed media artist, so if you're looking for someone that is a purist, you're looking at the wrong person. I use whatever I have, and I just don't stick to just watercolor or just acrylic paint. I mix it up. That's just what I like to do. I think it looks cool too when you add different mediums, because they all give a different texture. I think I got them all. Yep. We do have white flowers and the dark yellow centers. So I'm going to probably do those in white. This is a cream background. I'm going to do the centers in this Indian yellow. More or less speckled. That one doesn't need any. That one could use some brackets painted on it. There we go. All right. Let's dry that, and then we'll use some colored pencil. Right. Actually, I'm going to use some of this muddy color here I have on my palette as part of the color of the flower, the shadow. Sometimes you'll see the shadow on the petals. So if they're overlapping, there'll be a little bit of a shadow in there. This is small, so I'm not going to see a whole lot, but we'll put a little bit in. And then the rest can be white. All right, so dry those. Now I can take my eraser and erase any lines that didn't get painted, and that'll clean up your edges a little bit more. Now you can either leave it as is, or you could take a marker or pen and do your line work in that. It really depends on what style you like. I tend to go back and forth different styles of watercolor and ink washes. Just cleans up those lines a little bit more. Sometimes they look good with the lines, so yeah, you'll learn. Oh, I forgot to do the green in that one. I'll have to go back, put some green in there. There. Put a little bit of green on that one. And was that it? I think so. All right. So then we can do some coloring. So I have a bunch of colored pencils here beside me. They're a mix of Prisma and Faber-Castell, Pablo, odds and sods. So green, we're going to want green. You want to try and get similar colors. Or if you're making things a little darker, you might want to find one that's similar in that green family, but a little bit darker. So that one will work. Why? But my see. Just trying to fix this. Pencil sharpener is kind of wobbly. Don't know why. There. Okay, let's sharpen this pencil. It's coming out, that's why. Where's my other sharpener? Just need to sharpen this. I like a really sharp point when you're doing fine work. So I'm just going on the bottom edge of these stems. So where the shadow would be because of the cast of the thickness of the stem or leaf would be giving it that shadow effect. Or if the leaf curves into the stem area, it would be a little bit shadowed in there. Depends. Some of them lay flat, some have a curve. You'll have to look at leaves to see how they're formed in order to get a really, if you want, accurate drawing. I like a little bit of detail though in this type of stuff. Okay. One more shadow in the center here. Because it's a little bit on the curving inward in the center. At least that's the way I'm going to make it look. This one here is kind of folding a little bit. So you're kind of seeing it on the side here. Bit on the underneath here. Now when they're standing straight up, I usually put a bit of shadow on both sides then, because it makes it look round then, but very small amount. And then your center will be a little bit lighter. Now this one's on a slant, so I'm not going to put it on the other side. Same with this one. When there's overlaps, you can put a little bit of a shadow on the one side. Or berries. You kind of have to judge where things are overlapping, so you don't cross things all over the place. I'm going to make this dark because it's got a lot of leaf around it, so it's probably darker in there. And shadow, same with this one here. This is up and down. A little bit of on both sides, same with this one. Thanks, Joan. Well, like that. And this is curved, so the underside would have the shadow. A little bit of a shadow by the strawberry on the stem. Just shadows. Now with the flowers, these little brackets, just put a little bit here and there of the dark shadow, kind of like you're seeing in the center there where it would be darker. And on the strawberries, it's kind of on one side of those little brackets. Be dark. Just gives it a little bit more dimension when you do that. Then it also defines where they are when you color them around the strawberry. Sometimes they kind of get lost if you don't. We'll put a little bit more in there. Like that. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow around here and here. Be darker. Checking I got them all. I think I did. All right, so leave that out. And then I want to put highlights on them too. So want either a yellow or a really pale Even a gray would work for the leaf. Yellowy green. Let's see if this one works. Might be too dark. Depends. Let's see. It's not too bad. And you can even add a little bit on the tops where you think it might be a little bit lighter on those strawberry green parts. Just add, you don't do the whole thing, but just here and there. Just give it a little bit of brightness. Let's see. Make sure I get all those. I think I got them all. This one here, maybe a bit. Okay. And then you can go into even lighter. Either a very pale green, like this one. This is gray-green light. And then we can do even a little bit more. So wherever you think, oh, that's not a good one. This isn't the best either. I don't know where my other sharpeners are. Must be upstairs. Okay. Oh, look at that. This is a bad pencil. It must be broken all the way up. So let's do a little bit of white then. So just a smidge wherever you might think that there'd be a little bit of highlight from the sun, or don't have to do all of them. And just think where the sun would be hitting them. So obviously be in the lighter areas. Could have put some on the brackets too if you wanted to. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna put some on the flowers too. Might have to go in with a Posca though. I don't really notice this too much. So I want them fairly light. Not bad. All right. And maybe lighten a few of those really where they're out in the open. Some of those areas might be a little brighter. Like that. Now with the strawberries, let's see if I can find that again. See how it's kind of pinky color where it's shiny. And then there's a dark spot, and then the seed is in the center of that. So you kind of have to make almost a honeycomb shape of highlighting. Not everywhere, but just here and there. And this all depends on how detailed do you want to get. So if I get a pink, let's see, what color pink? I'll try this one. Now, these are further away. I don't know if this is going to be bright enough or not. We'll see. Might even need it a little bit lighter. Let's try this one, even lighter. And I'm just putting a little bit on, not a lot. Just where I think that it would have been highlighted. So I'm basically, I see my dots that I put in here. So I'm just kind of going around those. A bit. And just here and there, not on the whole thing. Because then it would look kind of weird. Okay. Then I'm going to get, I think, a Posca, and I'm going to see if I can get a pink one. Yeah, it could be, couldn't it, Dot? For June. We're into June. Okay, let's see. So then I just put a dot in the sections that I went around. It's hard to, sorry if it's bothering your ears. Can't seem to get this to shake right. So just shows a little bit where those dark areas would be. And then the other areas can be just a tad darker in another pink color, because they're more this color where the sun would be hitting them. Let's see. Then kind of a orange almost. Do I have one? Maybe this one. I don't think I have a. Let's see if it's too light. No, actually, it's a good color, but I can't get it going. Just a little bit darker. Too big. All right. And let's see. I think I need to make some of those a little bit darker around the edge. So I want a dark red, or even on the purple side, burgundy. Do purple maybe. Let's see. I'm just doing half moons on the top part, just to darken these a little bit around the seeds. I know I'm kind of getting a little too detailed. But it's interesting if you want to try this. All right, let's see. I'm going to take a white pasta and just highlight a bit of the flowers. And I'm just going to add a few dots on the center too, just along the top edges. Some of these need a little bit of help, just to show that they're the white flower. In there. Just brighten it up a little. few more of these. All right, and then I think we need a bumblebee. Well, let's do some yellow. Let's see. Put a little bumblebee right in here, I think. Some black. So I want a little bit of blue and some umber. Just a little guy. We'll color him in. Okay, let's dry him and then we'll use colored pencil to finish him off. Oh, great, Dar. All right, and then some black. Guess I could use marker. Shade them a little bit. Just a little bee. It's not really recognizable, but it's good enough. There. Now we can take our eraser and erase anything else that you might want to get rid of. I think that's it. A little bit of a smear there. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Bead. Kleenex. kind of hard to get rid of. But I think that's it. I think we need some shadow though. So I don't like leaving stuff hanging in the air with. So let's just add a little bit of shadow. Just very slight, that's it. Just a little darker where the leaves are. And then that should be it. Then dry it. And there we go. That was a fairly quick one, but I did draw it ahead of time. But there is the traceable if you want to give it a try. It's not that difficult. It's fun to do. So if you're interested in just the traceables, it's $2.99 a month, and you get all of the past month's traceables. So that's on Patreon or my YouTube. I find Patreon a little easier finding stuff because it's listed under traceables, or you can go through everything. And it's the beginning of the month, so if you're interested in Patreon, this is when you should apply, and then because they do their payments the first of each month. So I will let you guys go, and we'll see you on Thursday, and we'll probably be doing I'm thinking clematis on a vine, trellis of some sort as the acrylic painting, and I'll have probably a traceable for that one too. And yeah, just get out there, get your book out, start drawing. We'll continue drawing next week, and if you got any suggestions, put them down in the description below after the video is ended, and we'll see you next week, or on Thursday at least. Have a good one, everyone. Bye for now.